We turn our attention to the Europa League. It is the round of 16 second leg matchups. Some great ties to look forward to, guys. Here's a look at the rundown. But I guess, Mike, I don't want to start on Manchester United. I actually want to start on this Arsenal against Sporting game because it did finish 2-2 after the first leg, and it was a great game. Really enjoyed watching that first leg. What can we expect from the second leg between Arsenal and Sporting?
I think this is going to be a bit of a more difficult tie than maybe Arsenal fans are giving it. I thought Sporting, yes, they're a team that are so expansive when they attack. They play with a back three, but they put a lot of numbers forward. They will be kicking themselves that they didn't get that knockout goal, that knockout blow, left the door open. Paulinho, Arsenal did not have an answer for him in the first leg, but it's so hard with Arsenal having Trossard back. He was not a factor in this. Gabriel Jesus back, supposedly could be available for this game. Arsenal getting the right bodies at the right time. They looked more dangerous on set pieces. Saliba getting the goal. It's going to be a more difficult tie than maybe they might be giving it for it. But Arsenal, it's so hard to bet against them, especially given what they've done this season at home at the Emirates.
Nigel?
I think we're going to expect more of the same. What a tie. What a game it was. Open game. You know, Sporting guilty of missing some very easy chances where they could have put that tie to bed. And I think it really is going to be exciting football. But Ian, put yourself in an Arsenal shirt as an Arsenal fan. As a fan, what would you want? The Premier League title, or do you wait for Europa League final without guaranteeing to win it? Because there are still some very top sides in there. What would you want as a fan?
Oh, I mean, Arsenal fans want the Premier League, no doubt.
There you go. So I think it might be one of those situations there. I don't think they're going to completely disregard this competition, but I don't think they'll be too mad if they lose to Sporting or if they come out of this competition to give them the opportunity to focus on the Premier League title. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but again, you're speaking from the truth of a fan's perspective. They want the Premier League title.
Really quickly, if it was the Champions League they were chasing in the Premier League, what would it be?
Arsenal fans, they definitely, if they've won the Premier League already, I think it will be the Champions League will be the priority. They definitely will choose the Champions League. They've never won it.
Yep, and that's a great point right there. It tells you the difference between the two competitions as well, though, right? Where your priorities lie. And that might be the same for Manchester United, Mike, as we turn our attention to their game against Betis. A difficult place to go play. They have the 4-1 advantage. Not being a great weekend. Obviously, the red card to Casemiro. I thought it was a little bit unfortunate with the red card. It was a red, but I thought the way his leg rolled over the ball onto the shin, it was really unfortunate. And you could tell he was desperately disappointed.
Yeah, you saw the emotions. You saw what it meant to him. They're a player of the season. Marcus Rashford has been getting the goals both in Europe and in the Premier League. But Casemiro, he is the heartbeat of this team. United, the best thing they did, the best thing about the first leg was that it came just days after the loss at Anfield to Liverpool. Immediate reaction. They put the tie to bed. Betis, they forgot to show up. You saw the players with the gloves on. It was just misery. They didn't want to be on the field. Very disappointed from Betis. I see United going to Spain and just being professional and seeing this tie through.
Nigel, any comment on Manchester United?
No, I agree to that. My only worry for Manchester United is, again, we're going back to something that's been very repetitive in this current Manchester United side. It's the reliance on one player. Casemiro has become the heartbeat and he's become the vital man for Manchester United. A club like Manchester United, we shouldn't just be mentioning one player. Yes, obviously Rashford is scoring goals. You need to be mentioning at least 4 or 5 players every week for Manchester United that you're just that scared. But again, I feel like it's just getting back to that repetitive nature. First it was Ronaldo, now we just got Casemiro. And it's worrying. You need to get more players in the sense of more danger pieces for a club that big. You can't just have one player that's become the heartbeat of the club.
Well, United with advantage. Go ahead, Mike.
Just quick question for me. I think one player who could benefit from this second leg is Alejandro Garnacho. He's fallen off the pace a bit in the last couple of weeks. Ever since he dyed his hair blonde, there's something about this team when players go to the barber, whoever that barber is, sack him. As soon as they go to the barber, they go and they just lose form. But ever since that hairdo, yes, Nige.
Don't blame the hair dye, all right? Just leave the kid alone.
I'm looking at a trend, but he's kind of lost his focus a bit. He's a player that's really come to life in the Europa League. I think United will need him if they are to maintain top 4. The title race,
Michael,
No title race.
Just say when the kid has started, he hasn't taken his opportunity from starting yet. Forget his hair being blonde. I could give him
Nige,
rat's
it
arse,
started
but
with the bleach hair.
when he started, he hasn't taken his opportunity yet. That's what you should say. Leave his hair alone.
Well, he has before, just not recently.
Ian,
I'm
let's
gonna
turn
let
the
you
tape.
know. I'm gonna let you know real quickly though that he did take a nasty knock and he came off the pitch yesterday and he left the field in a boot, which is not a good sign for Garnacho. So we'll be interested to see how he is with his health wise as well. Amy's asking for an update. We don't have one yet.
Ian asked about Amy asked the question as well. Sorry to interrupt, Ian. She asked the question about Frankfurt fans if they're going to protest outside.
Frankfurt fans will protest anywhere they go, whether everything's right in the world or not. They will find something to protest about, and that's exactly what they do. But what I find is absolutely ridiculous with the Frankfurt fans is that they're not allowed to buy a ticket for a game. I mean, I understand there was problems in Frankfurt between them and Napoli fans, and they can't guarantee safety of the Frankfurt fans, which is my utmost importance here. But yeah, really quickly, it's very dangerous game to play. But dangerous now, asking Frankfurt fans not to turn up because they'll find a way to be at that game, whether you like it or not. Let's get back to the Europa League real quickly. Let's touch upon Roma. They obviously had that victory 2-0 against Real Sociedad. Mike, anything here from Mourinho's side to worry about here? It is a difficult place to go play.
It is, but this is Roma. Roma, they are built to defend. They will squeeze every single life out of this game. Sociedad, they will throw numbers forward. They have David Silva. They have some attackers who can make it difficult for you on the day, but it was underwhelming performance for them when they went to Italy. Roma getting the 2-0, keeping the 0. That was important before this second leg tie.
Another great tie to look forward to, Nigel, is Juventus against Freiburg. Juve have a slight advantage, 1-0 going to Germany. Freiburg, not necessarily being a great side, a little bit inconsistency recently, but that is a tough place to go play for Juve. Could we see an upset here?
Possible. I think so. One goal advantage isn't really enough in these competitions, I feel, especially against sides that have the weaponry to be able to overturn the tie. And I feel that Freiburg, again, it's just if the fan base can get behind them and make it a very uncomfortable atmosphere for Juventus, it is possible.
All right. Any other tie, Mike, you're looking forward to before we get out of here?
I am looking forward to Sevilla Fenerbahce. I know that ended 2-0. I watched that game from front to back. Why? Because I had nothing else to do on Thursday, to be honest. But that was a deceiving scoreline. Sevilla were not 2 goals better than Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce actually had chance after chance. Enter Valencia. He was just skating through players at home. Look for the Ecuadorian international to come up with the goals. I do not think this tie is over. I'm actually backing Fenerbahce to come from behind and get this tie and win it.
Nigel, anything else from you?
Nah.
All right. What about the 2 Unions? I thought you were going to comment on Union Saint-Gilloise and Union Berlin 3-3 after the first leg. Nobody expected goals in that game. I think everyone was betting on under 2.5 goals, and it ended up 3-3 in that game. So I'm expecting to see a bit of action. Boys, great stuff as always. Just a reminder to everybody out there, we obviously want you to comment, want you to like and subscribe and listen to the podcast and share the show as much as you possibly can.